Honestly, I was asking, do you have something stronger than wine? So I've just got to say something. If we can't all stand up and give a rousing ovation for the courage that has been displayed on this stage, then we don't deserve to be in this room. Good evening. I'm sorry, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. We have a history of call and response. Good evening. Good evening. That round of applause that you gave was so much bigger than us in this room. And with all due respect to all of our stories, it was so much bigger than Lauren and Sarah and Gio and Joni and Wanda and Christopher. It is 3 million strong, 50 million strong. And at the end of the day, these stories are representative of struggles that are going on across the globe every day. And I was asked to come up and talk about hope, which it could seem a bit difficult, honestly, given what we've talked about. But honestly, if I didn't have hope, I would not be here today. I think that there is so much that can be said about the struggle and the devastation of being a parent, being a child caregiver, as I was, being a mother, being a sibling. But at the end of the day, I can say to you that I know my mother's life was not taken in vain. Christopher Donnelly's life was not taken in vain. Joey's life was not taken in vain. And we're all here because we know that those stories represent a promise of what we can realize if we really rally our entire country, our entire globe around this struggle. And the recognition that there is an answer. And we don't have that answer now, and if we're honest with ourselves, it's not one answer. There is no one cure, because there is no one onset of this devastation that we've all realized. But we do recognize that if you think about the things that we've seen, research breakthroughs in the past century around, it's because there's been a cry for social change. There's been a cry for an end. And I think we in this room represent that small boulder. And once you push that boulder enough and get that momentum going, if you get it going downhill, it's knocking out everything in its path. And I think that's what we represent today. I can stand here and say that I have tremendous faith in our ability to end this struggle because of what Cure, Susan, Jean, and the tremendous just efforts that have gone into Cure over the past 13 years have done, because I'll give you a few facts and figures. So you've heard some somber facts and figures. Forgive me. They're a little somber, though. But there are some great facts and figures for us to think about as well. So over the past, you heard that since Cure's inception, we have given $18 million to research and awareness efforts in this country. That's okay, Susan. Over this past year, Cure has funded a record-breaking almost $2 million in research. Over the past 7 years, of the $11 million in research that we have funded, there has been over 200% return on investment. So for those finance guys in the room and guys and gals in the room, you can't find anything on the market with a 200% return on investment. What we are funding is actually contributing to breakthroughs. We are not masters of incrementalism. We are not giving grants to things that are just going to get an additional publication in a paper or an additional grad student funding. We are looking for those things that are contributing to the real breakthroughs that are going to drive true cures in this fight. That gives me hope. If I couldn't say that to you, and if I couldn't say it to you honestly, I wouldn't be on this stage. What CURE is doing is truly looking for opportunities to identify transformation. It's to ensure that Joey's name and Christopher's name and Wanda's name do not go down in infamy as those who just lost a fight. They go down as those who were a catalyst for breakthrough. And I stand here in front of you saying that I, as long as I live, know that my mother's name will be a catalyst for a breakthrough. If you're with me, stand up. Thank you so much for all that you are doing. I'm sorry, Eileen, I know I was supposed to be a little bit more specific, more detailed, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, I mean, we all, if you can't sit through what you've heard and not realize the necessity for the work that we're doing. You get the necessity. I want you to get that there's a reason for hope, and there's a reason to believe that the work that's being done is going to drive change. And now I turn you over to the hurricane that is Bill. Bill